From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The pilot of a small plane was killed this morning when his plane crashed in Spring Hill. That's our top story tonight. Good evening. It's Friday, September 18th. I'm Taylor Trichet.
And I'm Sarah Kimbrough. Thanks for joining us. The plane was traveling from Odessa to Orlando, and the pilot was in contact with airport towers, but suddenly problems occurred.
Units were on the scene within between 3 and 6 minutes, both the sheriff's office and fire rescue. We got to the scene and we unfortunately found a pretty horrific crash. It's hardly recognizable as an airplane.
Witnesses say the amphibian plane nosedived and crashed near an elementary school. No one else was injured. Officials are still investigating the cause of the crash. At this hour, last September 18th, authorities were working a horrible crime scene at Don Spirit's home outside of Belle, Florida.
At 4 o'clock, he had called 911 to admit to killing his daughter and 6 grandchildren. When deputies arrived, he killed himself. Ashlyn and Reese went back to Belle today and joins us from the newsroom with more. Ashlyn, what has the day been like there?
In school this morning, there was a moment of silence to remember the victims. Many people will attend the homecoming game at the high school tonight, a normal activity that will help distract from a painful anniversary.
The gloomy atmosphere matches the mood. Off a dead-end dirt road near Belle, Florida sits the house where the lives of 6 children were taken by their own grandfather. 1 year ago, Don Spirit shot them all. No one escaped. When deputies arrived, they found Sarah Spirit's body outside, and as they tracked her dad moving to the backyard, they heard his final shot.
Well, being one of the first ones to be on scene and being at the scene and going inside, I mean, it's still as clear as it was back, a year ago.
Others later said Don Spirit was refusing to take his bipolar meds, was smoking spice those days, and was angry his daughter might be involved with drugs and prostitution. Aside from this no trespassing sign right here, there are no postings that say the house is for sale, and so far we haven't seen any movement inside the house. However, if you look over here, there is still the police caution tape that's left here a year after the crime. 1 year later, everyone remembers that tragic day, but few want to talk about it.
I just remember being at a baseball practice, and a friend of mine was coming to baseball from that way, and we know a guy around here, he's a cop, and he came flying through Belle, and that's when everybody had found out about it.
One neighbor who declined to go on camera told me that the shooting is a tragedy that needs to be left in the past.
The community has gotten to the point where, it's no disrespect. I mean, our thoughts and prayers are still with the family and all that. It just, everyone's just trying to move forward the best they can.
DCF had years of involvement with the family, but it was a complicated picture with a number of adults involved, some arrests, and movements of the kids. After the tragedy, DCF pledged reforms, but the former area supervisor says it was always a struggle with heavy caseloads and staff turnover. Ashlyn, Reese, WUFT News.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Daytona Beach police have arrested the man accused of fatally shooting 2 women and injuring a man after an argument. Police officers say York Zed Bowden got into an argument with 2 women in their apartment yesterday. Investigators say Bowden shot the woman and a man who responded to their calls for help. The 2 women died at the scene. The male victim is in the hospital. A man was killed in a 3-car crash on I-95 near St. Augustine early morning. 63-year-old Charles Slattery was driving a box truck when he lost control just south of State Road 16. According to Florida Highway Patrol, the truck crossed the median and overturned, hitting a wrecker and another car. The drivers and passengers of both those vehicles are currently in the hospital.
Ocala police officers are looking for 2 men suspected of breaking into 3 cars early yesterday morning. Home surveillance video shows a man breaking into an unlocked car, although the owner says he did not steal anything. The video also shows him meeting with someone else. Officials say he broke into 2 unlocked cars in a neighboring house where he stole $5 and some change. Police are urging anyone with information about the 2 men to call Crime Stoppers. Florida A&M University has reached a settlement today with the family of a man who was killed in a hazing ritual. The university has agreed to a $1.1 million settlement in the negligence lawsuit filed by the family of Robert Champion. FAMU says the settlement not only involves payment, but also non-monetary measures. Champion died after fellow band members beat him with fists and mallets in a hazing ritual. The family says the university should have taken stronger measures to crack down on the hazing.
It's been a dreary day here in Gainesville.
UF forecaster Dan Henry joins us from the Weather Center. Dan, when can we expect this rain to end?
Well, good question, ladies. We are still watching a couple downpours across North Florida. I think they'll mostly be finished up by 7 or 8 o'clock here on Storm Track Radar. Notice there's no lightning strikes with these. This is fairly weak, what we call stratiform precipitation. The downpour just moved through Gainesville, currently along and to the west of I-95, continuing to move from east to west across the peninsula here. Archer, Williston, and Bronson, those are the communities that can expect some rain with this over the next 20 minutes or so. And then further over in Putnam County, it's still dealing with some stuff by Palatka. They've seen near 2 or 3 inches of rain today, so definitely a flooding threat still exists out there east of 301 west of I-95. Will be drier for the weekend, though. That's some good news there for those folks, and I'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up in my full weather hit. Ladies?
Thanks, Dan. A Newberry woman is going above and beyond for Alachua County residents in need.
Some people donate to food banks, but Evelyn McCoy decided to run one out of her own backyard. WUFT's Kayla Kowalik joins us now in the studio. Kayla, it appears the community really is benefiting from this food bank.
Sarah, that's right. Evelyn's food bank helps to feed more than 1,000 people a month, and she's someone that just can't stop giving back. Blessed Hope Foundation of Newberry not only provides meals for families in need, one of its founders, Evelyn McCoy, is committed to helping every person she can.
Evelyn McCoy seems to be your average 77-year-old. She loves gardening, her grandkids.
This is Georgia, and this is my daughter's children.
And feeding hundreds of families in her spare time.
My heart has always been for the lesser person.
McCoy is the president and co-founder of Blessed Hope Foundation of Newberry. The nonprofit provides food for Alachua County residents in need. When donations dwindle, McCoy says it's tough, but she never wants to turn anyone away empty-handed.
I got a man that paints. He's been out of work for about 2 or 3 months, and he come the other day. I have nothing in my refrigerator, nothing, you know, and they just cling to me like I'm a savior because they don't have money to go in the store. And that's why I tell people, just give a little bit.
Blessed Hope has helped so many families get back on their feet and provided them with food, but Evelyn really goes beyond the call of duty.
I met Evelyn through my case manager. I'm a disabled veteran, combat vet from Afghanistan. So I came over and Evelyn talked to her, and that's how I first met her. She blessed me with a few bags of groceries, just enough to provide for my family. I came back one other time, and it was just enough that I took that helped me make it.
Burke has come full circle since then. After Blessed Hope helped him get back on his feet, he felt the need to give back.
I came back to Evelyn and said, "Hey Evelyn, how can I help you?" And this is way before Tin Can Incorporated ever existed. So I started a farming operation, which is considered agrotherapy for myself. And so at that farm, I decided, hey, I have enough land to be able to grow enough for the entire community of her beneficiaries.
Blessed Hope relies on donations like Burke's to keep them afloat.
You know, if we don't continually get people sending in financial donations, we could go under. And I mean, think about it, 500, well, it's 1,000 people a month. What would they do?
But McCoy says she doesn't plan to stop providing help anytime soon.
It's a me world. You know, what am I going to get out of it, you know? And sometimes you don't see the results of what you're doing good then, but sooner or later it will come back to you.
Blessed Hope has a great need for volunteers and donations of both food and money. You can go to WUFT.org to find out more about how you can help.
Thanks, Kayla. Eastside High School culinary students took part in a competition today using a mystery basket of ingredients. Students in a special academy program at Eastside are taught not only how to cook, but how to manage a restaurant, the math behind it, all and more. Today, 2 local chefs taught them how to cook in a short period of time, but that wasn't the hard part. The young chefs had to use surprise ingredients from a mystery basket.
The winners were the students, though. They learned so much, and for instance, the 2 chefs were doing shrimp completely differently. They were even peeling them, deveining them, and cooking them completely differently. You know, where can you see shrimp like this, and you can see chefs competing and the students competing?
The students made a variety of dishes with shrimp, chicken, and bacon. Last year, the culinary team won a statewide competition and took 6th place in a national contest. An Ocala woman refused to be a victim yesterday after a hooded man attempted to rob her. The man got into 55-year-old Deborah Lauderdale's car and demanded her money. He pointed an object wrapped in a sock to her temple. Lauderdale didn't believe the object was a gun, though, and refused. After a brief struggle, the man fled. Ocala police did a search of the area but were unable to find him.
The King and Queen of Spain were in St. Augustine today as part of their first official visit to the U.S. King Felipe VI and his wife Queen Letizia greeted the public as the city rolled out the red carpet. The royal couple toured the Castillo de San Marcos and addressed the crowd from the government house balcony. The king will participate in a U.S.-Spain Council forum from today until Sunday. A group of Good Samaritans in Hillsborough County are being hailed as heroes today. Tom Bachilder normally lays paver patios, but Thursday morning was anything but normal. After a bus carrying elementary school children crashed into a pond, Tom and his partner Vinny rushed in to save them.
I seen a kid, I grabbed him, took him to the bank, seen a kid, grabbed him, took him to the bank. And
how many kids you pulled out of there?
I probably grabbed a half a dozen.
Tom says when he went inside, the entire row of seats was underwater. Thanks to Tom and all the others who jumped in, all 27 kids are safe and accounted for.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, the U.S. is easing sanctions on Cuba. Find out what this means for people planning to travel to the island country.
Plus, Elton John was pranked by a pair of Russian comedians. Those stories and more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.